It's a heart-stopping moment that happens far too often.
It's horrific. You know, it's your worst nightmare.
Cars ignoring the flashing lights and signs on a school bus.
This is car after car just going past the stop sign.
1, 2.
Inattentive drivers to blame. Some kids come within inches of getting hit.
No, wait!
Others aren't so lucky. Fox 25 has your back, preparing you for a new law to keep students safe with our special report, Break for Buses.
Hello everyone, I'm Chris Stanford. Tonight, a wake-up call for drivers to know the law, put down their phones, and pay attention. We're bringing awareness to a dangerous problem that's been difficult to enforce. The latest statistics show in a 5-year period in the U.S., passing cars killed 19 children getting on or off a school bus. And it's not just a problem in other states. This year in Oklahoma, school bus drivers witnessed 419 cars pass illegally on a single day. Police in Oklahoma haven't been allowed to use video to ticket drivers who pass a school bus illegally. But now the law has changed. Officers can now use cameras mounted on the outside of a school bus to issue a ticket. For the next half hour, we'll see how police are using a similar system to crack down on dangerous drivers, and you'll hear if it's making a difference.
This is what's at stake, the safety of school children getting off and on a bus. The flashing lights, the bright signs, it should all be enough to get a driver's attention, but too often it's not. Incredibly, these two children only had minor injuries. The footage was captured by school bus passing cameras in Austin, Texas. I recently flew there to learn how the system works.
Yeah, it's absolutely frustrating. I think awareness is key, you know, especially.
The Austin Independent School District has a massive fleet of buses with an even bigger responsibility.
Here at Austin ISD, we have a little over 500 school buses. We run roughly 400 routes, and we serve somewhere between 22 to 25,000 students.
School officials were faced with a problem so many cities in America are struggling to combat.
We've been getting the calls of a high volume of cars passing our red lights when our buses are loading and unloading students.
What's been the difference since having this system installed in 2016?
We've had a high volume of tickets given out. Honestly, it's something that is continuing to be an issue. And we continue to put out awareness. We continue to raise the safety banner that this is a very serious issue. And unfortunately, the numbers have been consistently high for violators.
Wow. So since rolling out in 2016, you haven't seen like a drop in the number of incidents or tickets given out?
No, sir, we have not.
Oh, that's troubling.
It's very troubling.
A close look at the number of citations shows some decline. In 2016, district police issued about 1,100 citations a month. The following year, 1,500. Then 1,200. This year, it's down to about 960 per month. So far, drivers have challenged 4,600 tickets. A judge has overturned about half, more than 2,200. It's now Oklahoma's turn to try to make a difference.
What advice would you have for Oklahoma as we're about to roll the system out?
My advice is that it takes a group effort. It takes the citizens, it takes the administrators from the schools, it takes the transportation department, the police department, to all be on the same team, to all be on the same page in terms of why we're doing this, which safety is our priority of the students, and to be diligent in following through with it.
Now, there are some differences, couple of big differences to point out here. In Austin, a ticket for passing a school bus is handled in civil court. Police ticket the owner of the car, so maybe it's not the driver. In Oklahoma, video can now be used for a criminal offense, meaning that a driver could get arrested or lose his or her license. Here, an extra $100 fine will be tacked onto the ticket. That money would go to a fund to help school districts pay for the camera equipment. This is also different. Austin schools use a vendor that installed all of the cameras and runs the system, so there's no out-of-pocket cost for Austin ISD, but the vendor does take a huge percentage of the revenue.
Now, back to Austin. Let's look at how Austin ISD officers are using bus cameras to ticket offenders. Officers like Lieutenant Gus Barrera sit right here and review video clips. Those clips are sent by the vendor who set up the camera system.
What are you looking for in the video?
This one, for example, here, this is a big yellow bus on the straightaway. So this individual here should be able to see that bus.
And everybody next to him is stopped, and he just flew right past everybody else.
Absolutely.
How many of these are you doing a day?
They range anywhere between 100 citations.
100 in a day?
Sometimes, yes.
In about 4 years, Austin ISD has issued more than 53,000 tickets and brought in more than $10 million in revenue, although most of that money goes to the vendor who installed the cameras and runs the system. Each ticket is a $300 fine.
This is car after car,
Yes.
just going past the stop
That's
sign.
1, 2. And what happens a lot of times is you can catch in another 2 or 3 clips up ahead, you'll see the same intersection, the same street, and you'll catch the rest of these vehicles that are running the stop sign.
Despite years of publicity to increase awareness, it's been tough getting drivers to pay attention.
And we put these out through our local news media outlets, and yet we don't see a decrease in these citations.
Isn't that part of the reason why you do this, is to try to bring, to keep people from passing the buses, yet it's still happening? That's got to be discouraging.
At times you feel like it is. I think what's happening is we live in a society where everybody's in a hurry. We have too many distractions inside the vehicle.
You think part of it is that people don't know the rules?
In some cases. I think what caught us was the number of citations that we were issuing.
So it was overwhelming at
It
first?
was overwhelming at first. And it is up to the driver to pay attention to the rules and the bus.
Coming up.
It was the most scariest moment of my life. Like, my daughter's life literally flashed between my eyes.
A terrifying close call caught on camera. We'll talk with a mother who saw a car nearly hit her daughter, why she says so many drivers are putting kids' lives at risk when Break for Buses continues.
On a given day, thousands of drivers across the country illegally pass a school bus, and some of them come dangerously close to children. It was a wake-up call when a mother saw it happen to her child.
You may have seen this video this year of a close call with a school bus. It went viral. It shows Melina Kirk-Taylor coming home from her first day of school when she came feet away from being hit by a car.
My natural reaction was to scream, like, no.
Melina's mom, Josephine, was recording the video.
And it was the most scariest moment of my life. Like, my daughter's life literally flashed between my eyes.
Looking back on that whole situation, what surprised you the most?
That Melina stopped, because any other child would be so happy and just continuously run across the street.
You taught her well.
Thank God. Thank God.
Melina's bus didn't have a camera that police could use to ticket a driver for passing illegally, so her mom took matters into her own hands. She took her cell phone video to police, and the driver was eventually ticketed.
So they felt the need to do something due to the fact that this video is viral.
Why do you think people keep illegally passing these buses?
Honestly, I feel like they're not getting enough education when it comes to driving. I just feel like they're not knowledgeable, or they feel like there's no consequence, or they feel like it's not important. But it's someone's life is at stake when you don't stop. I wasn't going to let it pass because too many children have lost their life to this, and it's not okay for us to take it lightly. We have to protect our children.
Since we began reporting on this topic, we've been asking for your comments and questions. We'd like to show some of them right now. We pulled one up here that says, "I like it," referring about the new law. Start handing out expensive tickets. The next one here says, "It's ridiculous how often I see this," as in cars illegally passing buses. If the student can get the tag number and video, hit them with a hefty fine. Again, these cameras have to capture that information. Here's some relatively new video from Edmond Police Department showing some cars illegally passing a school bus. And it prompted an interesting question here. A graphic here shows when it is okay to pass a school bus if you are headed the opposite direction. It clearly lays out when you can and when you cannot. Really, if you are coming the other way and there is a separated divider in the roadway and it has grass or a barrier, then that is the only way you can stop. Thanks for watching. I'm Chris Stanford. Good night.